One.
Hi everyone and welcome to this very special Children's Play Day live with Tara Sharma. It's really exciting because this is my first ever live show. I do a lot of shows on the Tara Sharma show, but this is the first time that we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So please guys, write into us and thank you all so much for joining us. Go tell all your friends to log on now and start interacting because I've actually got my phone right here so I can check how many of you are actually watching. We've also got 4 amazing working moms with us to discuss a really relevant topic, something that I'm pretty sure all of you who are connected to kids, not just parents, even grandparents, aunts, uncles, babysitters, friends, everyone who's connected to kids, I'm sure all of you grapple with. It's the whole debate about outdoor play versus indoor play. Are kids stuck to gadgets too much? Should they be out playing? Are we all petrified of mosquitoes? Everyone talks about dengue and malaria and chikungunya. Are we all holding them back? These are all really pertinent questions. And there's a video that's been circulating all over the net that got me thinking, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen that video, which is why you're here. And you've also probably been seeing all our tweets and posts asking you to come here. I am guilty of hounding you. I've done about 7 posts to have you join us here. So I think this is relevant for all of us. So let's watch this video.
बेटा सुनो,
हाँ जी कौन?
आपके कितने फ्रेंड्स हैं?
मैं तो बताऊँ. Let me think. 3. You say.
बोलो.
बहुत सारे.
अच्छा अपने फ्रेंड्स के नाम बताओ.
ओगी, सुपरमैन भी मेरा दोस्त है. प्रिंसेस एल्सा, मोटू पतलू,
डोरेमोन.
बचपन से दीदी. बैटमैन भी मेरा दोस्त है. ढोलू नहीं भोलू. अरे हाँ, नोबिता भी तो है.
सॉरी बेटा.
Peppa Pig. She just loves Peppa Pig.
पर बेटा क्या आप रोज शाम को इन फ्रेंड्स के साथ बाहर खेल सकते हो?
पर वो तो टीवी पे होते हैं.
Oh my God. See,
बचपन का असली मजा असली दोस्तों के साथ चीखने चिल्लाने भागने दौड़ने में है. तो अपने बच्चों को रोज बाहर भेजिए ताकि हर डे बने चिल्ड्रंस प्ले डे. गुड नाइट फैब्रिक रोल ऑन.
1 2 3 4 खुल के खेलो घर के बाहर.
So you guys, I already saw lots of comments, so thank you all for watching. It's really pertinent, it's really relevant. Are these the friends we want our kids to grow up with? Personally, as many of you will know, if you've been watching my show, I'm a big optimist. I believe in always seeing the positive. So I like to think that this is not going to happen, but it's certainly something that concerns many people. So to have this wonderful discussion, we have 4 wonderful guests with us. Some of them have been on my show, so I know all of you know all of them. They're all super celebrities in the digital space and in their workspaces. So we've got Mansi Zaveri, who is the founder of Kids Stop Press, which is a digital platform that is aimed at making parenting easier and simplified. She's also the mom to her 2 gorgeous little girls. We've got Ruchita, who's the chief mommy officer of First Moms Club, which is not just a Facebook group, but it's also an app now. And Ruchi has been on my show many times, as has Mansi. And we've got Shruti, who is one of India's top beauty and lifestyle bloggers. You can see her beautiful makeup. So I think I'll be taking some tips. I actually, honestly, I watch some tutorials because I am so used to having a makeup person. Sorry, this is an aside. That I actually spent like 20 minutes watching how to do eyes and also definitely going to watch you. And we've got Avni, who is the MD of Godrej Nature's Basket. And she's also a mom. Shruti is also a mom. So thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure.
And I think I'm going to start with you. Do you think that this is actually a concern? Is this something that's bothering you, the whole outdoor-indoor debate?
Absolutely, Tara. I think it's great to be here to discuss something so relevant because all of us have little children And I think the worst nightmare for a mother, whether she's working or she's a homemaker, is about children falling sick.
Yeah.
And I've had several conversations with friends who say, it's not the right time to send kids out. It rains so much, the weather changes, and mosquitoes have become almost like an anthema which prevents our children from going out. I'll tell you, my son is almost 9, and I remember nightmares about the time when he used to go out and come back with all these red spots, and I used to be like, am I really doing the right thing by leaving him out there? What can I do about it? And you didn't have so many solutions then. Recently you have companies which actually provide you the right solutions. But I think it's very pertinent, Tara, because childhood is about learning a lot when you're outside with your real friends.
Absolutely. And I mean, honestly, I think a lot of this also has to do with, time, people having time and being able to do that as well. So moving to you guys, I know that, Ruchi, Mansi, and I'm sure you as well, Shruti, I know you guys do a lot with your kids outside as well. And do you find that the way we used to play when we were kids, do you think things have changed? Like when you were kids, what did you do outside?
So a lot has changed, but I still think it's a lot on the parent and on the child, depending on how involved you want to be and how much emphasis do you give on free play, because today also our kids, one is about playing outdoors and one is packing them with classes, right? So while that is also great, because you might be going for extracurriculars which are fitness or sports related or outdoor, so I think it's a constant struggle between the two. But I think outdoor play in general has reduced. I think it's also because, not only because because parents have been working or we've been busy, but I think it's also commute time to places, etc. But I think the good part is that all of us have started living in gated communities right now. So it becomes very easy for kids to have that, like it's 5:45 and I see the same zing in my kids that, I have to finish my work and go down because it's 5:45 and we have to go down and play.
Yeah.
And as far as I see that spark in their eyes every single day that I have to go down and play, and they play the same game. So when I see them playing, now kabaddi because it's such a big thing, or or playing that chor police or kho-kho, or cycling and playing all of that, I still feel that sense of excitement and I feel that they're going the right way.
Yeah, but let's also face the fact that when we were kids, and I don't want to reveal anyone's age here, but I don't even think we had the option of really,
Absolutely.
surfing channels
We
and
didn't.
all
We
the
didn't.
fun kids content
I think
that's out
even
there.
so, my kid, I have 2 boys, right? And my older one is almost 12. And the thing is, honestly, parenting has changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that much. And I think I'm a bit of a dinosaur mom because I don't get so hyper and I just let go. My kids hardly go for any classes, and I'm always insisting that they should go out and
But
play.
has the remote become their friend?
No, they haven't. So the thing is, even my younger one, who's not as sporty and who's not as outdoorsy like my older one, but I have been telling him just go down and play, and I insist on free play because this is the only time they can free play, have this time to play. And so I don't have too many classes that I pack him into. And we moved a lot as a family because my husband used to be a banker, and every time we moved to a place, we would insist that either we would be in a gated community or a building where there was some space or there were kids, and even if the house was small, we would make sure that there was enough space because we were very particular about them just going down,
Yeah.
and not playing. And honestly, 10 years ago, there weren't that many options, there weren't apps, and we make an extra effort to actually not have gadgets at home. So,
Yeah.
example, we had an iPad which conked 3 years ago and we've not repaired it. So, we don't even have an iPad at home.
So clearly, you guys are all
So-
big advocates of the fact that
Yeah.
playing outdoors is important.
Yes, it is, but somehow I feel like that, we are working, and when we are like, we are coming back to home, or I'm coming back to from shoot, it's almost like 9 o'clock, and taking your child at 9 o'clock out is really a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow I feel like it's not safe, and it's like dark, and most of our friends are actually not there in the park as well.
Yeah.
And when I get time, she's mostly sleeping, and so it becomes very difficult to manage the time. But somehow what we do is either I will come home early, or Arjun will come home early, and we try to make sure that our daughter is having enough time in the park no matter what. This
Yeah.
is something which we doesn't want it to compromise on, because we want her to be a social person
Yeah.
rather than just be a introvert person. I am a big shy person by myself, and I didn't want her to
believe
be
that.
like
We won't
that.
believe you, Shruti. We don't believe you.
No, but I am a big shy
But you know, it's
person.
interesting you're talking about being shy, because an IKEA survey recently actually said that 75% of Indian parents actually admit to the fact that they're overprotective.
Yeah.
And overprotective, perhaps even with just allowing them to go out and play, perhaps with allowing them to go out and make those new friends. So maybe somewhere it's a safer option to let them be inside and watch
Yeah.
something.
Also, I think when we
or,
were
you
kids,
know,
it
have
was
those-
safer, right? And I mean, I grew up in Bombay, and I think if you've grown up in Bombay, you realize there's no space. But
Yeah.
we would adapt. We would play in little gullies. We would play in any space that was available, and we would just leave home. And I think there was no concept of play dates. There were no mommies exchanging numbers and
Yeah.
doing that. We just went down and found someone and started playing. It didn't matter who it was. So things were simpler. Now I feel like I find it very difficult planning play dates, and I find that that's a big, disadvantage I have, because I just think that the kids should ring the bell, call each other, and just go down and play. And then, whoever you want to play with, whatever you want to do. There
Yeah,
should
I
not
think-
be
yeah.
too much of
I think
planning that should
also
be there.
what Shruti said is a very relevant point, that because you're shy, what you're also with technology, what you're also doing, you're removing that social angle from a child's life, right? Because it's one-way communication. There's nobody coming back and tell you, oh, I'm not talking to you if you don't do this, right? So your
Yeah.
child is never learning real life skills which they actually go down and play or stay outdoors, or when they have a social life they do, right? Because that's a constant battle. Even like, I'm not giving my den. My God, I mean, the amount of complaints I get that mom, she's not talking to me because I'm not. I don't want to give my den again.
Yeah.
They're actually learning real life skills, because life is not going to be the same forever, right? You will have to pick and choose your battles.
Okay, but now just to like bring in a little bit of controversy, because it seems like we're all pretty much on the same page that outdoors is fun and good and important for kids to be outdoor. And you've said about how you want kids to go out to make friends and stuff. Pun intended, but there's one type of friend that will really come very readily to all our kids, and that is the mosquito, right?
Right.
So there's a genuine fear. I love our kids playing outside. I personally am quite sporty, so selfishly I honestly include myself in all their evening activities, which include running around the race course or free play like that. But I do get a bit paranoid about mosquitoes. I mean, I would say at least maybe 30% of the people I know have had dengue and chikungunya or
Absolutely.
something
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
other.
yeah.
And
Scary.
I put honestly various, I mean, I'm as
See,
worried
I
for
got-
ourselves, for all of us.
Interesting.
I got malaria when I was pregnant 7 months.
Oh my
so
God.
that was the scariest moment of my life. So
Really?
after that, I was like using all sorts of methods to get
Protect
these
the baby.
mosquitoes
Yeah.
away from my house, especially with me, because
Of course, yeah.
it was a big problem for me.
Yeah.
And especially because I was pregnant and I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
It was really a tough time.
It's interesting you mentioned that we're aligned, that we think children should play out. And, I have a 9-year-old and I have enormous space. We live close by to the race course. But children do get peer pressure sometimes, for going back to gadgets and stuff like that. The other peer pressure thing I've seen, at least with my son, is, we try to put stickers or we ask them to wear bands. Like, I remember the day my son was going for a camp and it was a red color band. And he said, that's a girl's color, I'm not going to wear it. So, just the solutions. And I think you rightly said we all adapt, but sometimes, innovation and stuff like that comes through. So I used to actually go out, my sister's abroad, and I used to tell her, and she's like, US, we don't have a problem with mosquitoes, She's like, I've given up India, so it's not my problem anymore. But really finding the right things and having kids use it in a great way.
I think honestly,
It
another
helps.
thing is also awareness.
Yeah.
There actually was a survey recently that said 92% of people don't actually know that the dengue mosquito and the chikungunya mosquito
the
bite in the day.
daytime.
Right.
And
Yeah.
quite honestly, the minute I heard that, I said to our kids, okay, playtime becomes night playtime now. Man, that's
But
a
you know,
joke.
the
But
other
the
thing
fact is that people
about
don't know.
applying lotions and stuff like that. In the community, I've seen a lot of conversations where moms are very hesitant to put it on the skin of the baby, even if the product is herbal and organic, and because they're not comfortable, especially when it's a really small baby.
Yeah.
They're not very comfortable putting on the skin because you're always worried that it might, she might get a rash or it might
Yeah.
affect. So that's one very strong point, because I see that question coming up so often in the community, like, mom, moms, can I apply this? Can I put it on the face?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing, because okay, you protect everything else, but then you'll have these little red spots on the face, and what do you do with that? So, you know, those are...
But I agree with Ruchi that we also get a lot of queries on Kids Stop Press about the solutions that people are looking at, and people are always looking at solutions that protect you head to toe versus something that's you know, centered around an area, right? So when you have these stickers or whatever, you're focusing on one particular area, right? There's nothing that's protecting you from head to toe, and children are children, right? They just rip things off, things just automatically fall.
Yeah.
Mine
we
is
know that, right? As
50
parents, we
months
know
old,
that.
and what she does is, if I'm going out to play with her, I have this lotion on all over my body as well, and she sometimes like to lick me. So it's difficult for me to apply the lotion. You know?
No, but if you have a younger one, I agree.
So, as you know, you guys may know, it is a surprise, but I shall reveal here that Godrej has come out with this amazing Goodnight fabric roll-on, which you actually just put these 4 spots on the clothes, and it really works. And I have tried them on our kids and on myself, because I believe that we also should protect ourselves,
course,
right?
yeah.
So it's definitely like really worth trying. So everyone, please try it, because you know, this isn't just like a usual, honestly, picture of talking about a product. It's actually something as a parent, and I only do stuff on my show, the Tara Sharma show, which I think would actually have some helpful benefit for parents and kids and families. And I really do think this will help, because we're all afraid of things like dengue and malaria, and even something like pollution. I mean, I keep joking and saying someone should actually come up with something that will eradicate that too, because that's become a growing concern and a growing menace, right? Now coming back to this whole indoor-outdoor thing, as much as we're dissing the whole technology stuff, the fact is that we also want to move with the times, right? And all of us, I think, you know, all of us without exception are able to be hands-on moms because of technology. Most of our businesses have actually grown and even started because of technology. I was shooting for my show the day my babies were born, because it was all online and I could send edits or check stuff. So I think technology has empowered a lot.
Absolutely. We're all tech companies, Tara.
Exactly.
We spend a lot of time on technology.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's
so
the
now,
thing. It's
so
like,
now what do you do, right? First role
Yeah.
models for the kids and all that. So I mean, I'm sure all of you have had your kids say, "Mama, put that phone down."
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you?
You have to
say to
balance. I
them?
think, see, we grew up with parents who are not doing that, and they are seeing this generation of parents, and like she said, we all run tech companies, you know, and we are always on the phone, and I think we're hypocritical best when we say that no screen time and we're scrolling through our own phone and, you know, stuff like that, and we're looking down, we're not even looking at them saying and switch off the TV. But the thing is, you have to make a conscious effort as a parent to not be always on the phone when they are around, you know, work when they're not there. Especially my husband and I, we both run tech companies, so when we go on holidays, we don't take our gadgets with us. We go to places where there's not even a TV, you know. So we make sure that that's the thing we do, and every day we have a half-an-hour session where we just chat about what's happening in our life, and there's no phone and nothing happening. And I think it's all about balance, because you can't do away with it. You can't do away with it, but you can't make it the soul and goal. And you've got to realize that it's not just about, you know, some parents have said that, oh, but my kid spends so many hours on the iPad, but he's still doing so well in school. That's not important. You know, he will, like she said, he will lack the social skills, he will lack the EQ, and there are many more things. It's not just about studies and stuff like that. And it's totally up to us to keep the balance going and making a conscious effort of keeping a check on yourself.
But I think the word balance is quite important.
Because they watch us, right?
No, and not just that. I personally feel, having done this topic about technology and kids and play and stuff quite often on the show, I do feel that most often the middle ground, you know, if you deny something too much, there's always a tendency to rebel and go for it. So I've seen, honestly, if I give the kids the TV on and the door open with a football and a big field, more often than not, they'll run out to the field with the dog for sure and the ball, you know. So I think, hopefully, again, optimism. I don't think we're fully going in that tech direction with kids especially.
Tara, I'd just like to add that I also think these kids are growing up in a tech world, right? I mean, to deprive them or to believe that it's not going to be an enabler would be foolish, because they're growing up in times where technology is going to be a constant in their lives, right? So if we're not going to enable that or empower them with that, I think it'll be stupid, because they're growing. I mean, they can do things much faster than any of us, right?
They're
They learn
intuitive.
They're intuitive, absolutely. And today, I mean, I can very proudly say that my 4-year-old can figure out, okay, if Snapchat has had a new filter or not. But you know, that 6:30 to 8 when I am all down without a phone, she loves that time as much as scrolling through 5 minutes of Snapchat filter, because that's fun.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But there's a balance, and I think that balance is key, because but depriving them or saying this is wrong, I think the minute you start restricting something, it becomes a, you know, that urge to check it out is far more.
But having said that, as I say all the time on my show, each to their own. Because I have actually had lots of guests who believe in digital detox, and they actually do not allow, and they've gone to live even in places which have, you know, as you said, for a holiday, but they've actually chosen to live like that.
Wow.
And unlike someone like all of us who might spend half an hour or an hour without, they actually spend maybe half an hour with. You know, so I think there's a lot of people like that as well. So on that note, I have to refer to this, which I'm apologizing live to say, because I never like to look at papers, as you know, but I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out, because this is, as you know, a special Good Night Children's Playdate Tara Sharma Show live. So on that note, I think we've actually covered most things, but I think, as we always, when we come to the end of a really good discussion with wonderful moms, it's time for everyone to give some little tips perhaps to our audience. Before, of course, we come to all your questions, don't think we've forgotten. I have my phone here so that I can look, but as you saw in the beginning, I wasn't very tech savvy, so I put it on while it was playing and there was a bit of confusion. So we're coming to your questions too, but would you guys like to give a little bit of, like, some tips on what we've discussed?
I think I've had a great time, got different kinds of insights about, and definitely got to know an interesting product which I know Param would love. But on that note, I think there's a lot that children sometimes teach us, right? We're talking about technology and outdoor. And I was having this conversation with Param and his friend, and both of them were insisting that, you know, they kind of fight together to get a phone. And I told them, you know, don't you guys watch TV anymore? Don't you know phones are going to get extinct in 2 years, right? We're all so obsessed about apps and everything. And my son actually said, so what's next after the phone? You know, so technology allows us to be curious, but at the same time, I don't think our children are naive or the world is going to get naive. I'm an optimist. I do believe that playing outside is not just about getting to know nature, but really knowing each other, you know.
Absolutely.
And I see the friendships, the way that molds my son Param is far more meaningful than just, you know, talking to a phone or an iPad. So I feel blessed. I think we're in very interesting times, a lot of innovation. And our kids are really learning to adapt. You're right, kids today are wired very differently.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when they see new products, they know how to use it better than us.
And also, you made a very good point about, you know, everything's changing so quickly. But recently when we did an episode, we actually talked about how technology can encourage kids to be back out in nature, you know. Apps which actually tell you what butterfly you're looking at, or, you know, what animals you're looking at.
I'll tell you, my son FaceTimes Ronak, my sister's son, abroad. So when it's autumn or when it's snow falling, they're FaceTiming, right? You don't see snow in India, but it helps you. But at the same time, I allow that, or we encourage that, because it's bonding, right?
Absolutely.
Across the world, talking alive is
Yeah,
great.
Absolutely.
Right?
And
Actually,
tips from you?
We need to actually change the mode of technology. Rather than giving them screen time, we can actually play music and ask their friends to join your kid and have a dance party rather than. That can be fun. At the same time, you are
do that
using
now? We've got
technology.
people watching. We can ask them to, like,
Because
put on
I
music.
have a 15 months baby, na? So I don't give any screen time to her except when I am giving her medicines. Then I have to give her a screen time. But then if she is not eating, I don't give her my phone or any screen, anything like that. But I do play music every time for her, and she enjoys that a lot. And I have seen that she enjoys, you know, listening to music more than watching these shows. So I find that maybe because I'm showing her a different side of technology, and she is getting an inspiration from that as well. So I think we should change the mode rather than, and there are other apps as well these days which are actually kids friendly apps.
But also to be outside and not be afraid of being outside,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
even if you take that music, you can listen to it outside
Absolutely.
in nature while you're, like, playing or enjoying the, you know, the outdoors.
Yes.
And that's a lovely thing. Music is always something that's
Yes.
such a wonderful thing for kids. I also, to be honest, I never allow my kids to have the phone at all, because although I am tech savvy when it comes to the show, I'm totally tech non-savvy when it comes to kids apps. So I
Yes,
have
that's
nothing on my phone. So they don't want
Same
my
here,
phone, but
same
they want
here.
Rupak's
Yeah.
phone.
But
That's the only
Just like,
difference.
just to add, what I do is, if I have to call somebody or if I have to do something on my phone, and I'm saying at the same time to her that don't pick my phone, I will go to a washroom and then I will text the person back and I will come back. In front of her, I just don't. She is, she doesn't know that mama use phone at all.
You know, that's a good thing also, because I think when you're outside, as Ruchi, you said that when you're on holiday and stuff, you don't even take it along.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice, because
So
just
I
to
take
run
my
out-
phone along, but I don't like we don't even. I do take, but quite often we are in places where there's no network, so
But
it's
you
best.
can
So it's like
run
dead.
outside, be
Yes,
out
of
in
course,
the
of
open,
course,
like
yeah,
jump
just,
about.
Correct.
And
And
not
I
have
think
it around
just
you.
bond and then just talk and go for walks and I think what I would like to say is that, which I keep saying, is that kids don't listen to you but they watch you. So it's very important that you have to do, and then see, everyone's circumstance is very different. I know working moms who have to do FaceTime because you know they want to see the kids. So you can't put a guideline saying no, you can't do FaceTime
Yeah.
with a 6-year-old. I work from home and I've chosen not to give a phone to my 12-year-old. And I think he cribs a little about it because all his friends have. But the thing is, I've told him a time and I said that's when you'll get it. And I want to stick by it. But at the same time, there are working moms who are traveling, right? Which is fine. But the thing is, you have to be then prepared for your kid behaving in a similar way because he's watching you, you know.
And naturally, kids don't like to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of friends.
They'd rather chat. You
I've
know.
had my sister-in-law works and she keeps crazy hours, and I know that her son hates talking on the phone to her. So it's almost anthema. So I think sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. We
Yeah.
think that it's easier to do this rather than allowing them to grow the way that they want to.
I think that's a really valid point, because I actually think it's our generation that's so mesmerized by
Exactly.
tech. I think these guys have grown up seeing it, that they're more excited by
Yeah.
just the outdoors and the fun.
Absolutely.
There's nothing my kids like better than going to our farmhouse, which is in the middle of nowhere with nothing, with no net, very little connectivity, and just playing, not even with other people, but just with
themselves,
leaves and
yeah.
animals and
Yeah.
themselves, you know, and just, you know, watching nature and being in nature.
Tara.
Mansi, tip?
Yeah, my pet would be, it's amazing when I hear all of you guys that it's kind of coming in a full circle, right? So moving to so much of tech to now having, you know, like she rightly said, that we're all staying in a virtual world where we want to start connecting back to people. So you'll see a lot of events which you'll discover and which we discover on the platform when we write about them. You'll have a lot of outbound, lot of nature and lot of events which are moving away from technology, like she said.
Yeah.
Even a lot of getaways that you're now choosing. You know, when we do child-friendly getaways from different cities, you will see people choosing options like that, right? Or even events that they're doing. People want to, like we did one last week and it was a wellness event, all in the outdoors, which is recycled and stuff like that. So it's nice that people, you know, I think the more people will move to technology, the more people will also move to people, because people will be so deprived of people that they will actually want to be
And not just
with
people
them.
outdoors.
Absolutely.
I think let's come
Absolutely.
And
back
I think it
for
should
one
be every
second.
day. It should be every day where you inculcate that habit of the kid going down, even if he just wanders around for 5 minutes and comes back. It's not just about going for an event every weekend, but every day just instill that,
You know, something which
habit.
is random, but I just thought of it now. This whole wanting, I believe also that one should get out, and one's afraid of, you know what's really helped us get out, and it's actually having a dog. You know, because the dog has to pee, and we love to, no, and we all love to take the dog. So going to the race course and all, a lot of it is because of the dog.
because of
So
the
it's just something I suddenly realized that it
But you're right.
might, you know,
Rituals are
like things
important.
like that, you know, it can get you guys outside. Now on that note, we can't forget all these amazing people who have joined us. So we're not saying bye at all. We're actually saying let's hear what you guys have to say. So our first Twitter question, and see how cool I am, I can read it by just looking at you. But the first question is, it's competitive being a child, home, tuition, preparation. How does one find time to play? So let's do it this way so that we don't spend too long, because I know for live people are busy and you guys have to go out and play. So I hope you guys are out in some park watching this on your phone and not letting your kids see that you're doing it. After everything we've been talking about, we better not keep you here for too long. So on that note, let's have one person answer each question. So who wants to answer this one? Raise your hand.
I can do that.
Okay.
Because I don't.
And let's do them like quick.
Yes, I think as mothers or as parents, you should not put your kids to too many classes, and do not follow the herd mentality.
Yeah.
And this is the time when they can play, because all of us know as we become adults, the tensions and the pressures are only going to increase. That's the time they have to play. So I think you should just. I've never taught my kids any educational stuff through an app, you know.
Yeah.
And they're doing fine in school, honestly.
But
So
I think
you
it's
should
not just the time for them to play. I think it's the time for us to play as
Yes.
well. I think the next, in my next season of the show, I'm actually going to have chats outdoor.
Yes.
Actually,
Why not?
as well.
Why not?
As long as it's not
Yeah.
in any city that's too polluted.
So just send them down. Just send them down. It's not down. You just have to you have to just send the kid down. That's it, you know, and trust him to find his friends, make new friends, fight, make up, and come back.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean not in
Yeah.
cities that are not polluted. I meant we should do also something to help that. So
Yes.
that's something that we should discuss, you know, on another day. Maybe Godrej will come up, as I said, with some product that will help with that. Twitter question 2. I do fear the safety of my kids. How do I keep an eye on them while they are playing downstairs or elsewhere?
So
Yeah,
I think
that's Shruti.
we
Yeah,
can
she has
actually
small baby.
download some kind of app, and we can talk to our kid first, because these days I have a niece. She's 7-year-old, and she doesn't like if I'm looking into her room or something. So we can talk to them that, see, this is a concern, and we want this app to be downloaded in your phone, or if or in any other devices, and you can actually track the location, so you know where they are, and or they are moving or not.
You know, this is amazing. For me, because I'm a bit of a tech dinosaur, in our kids' school, they've started it with the card, the school card. When they get on the bus, they swipe, and we have a map, and it shows us where they are and where the.
Tara,
So some
do you
days
know
I
we
get
just
really stressed.
discovered this?
I know, I'm very bad. I'm very, very, very bad.
Tara,
But
that's
I
the
got
first
so
question every
excited.
parent now asks when the child is admitted.
All our
Yeah.
school life, no one tracked where we were. And we
No,
were
nobody.
fine.
We just grew up with free play all the time.
My son
This
recently,
really excited me. But I just finishing that, what happened is, one day I didn't get it.
yeah, you won't, because it gets all
No,
spoiled
they
very
forget
often.
to swipe. So that's one thing about tech, right?
But I
We
have
still
a
have to-
context solution, because I think my son has a lot of friends in the building. 8 weeks back, he had a fracture, and actually he was playing with older kids, and his tiniest friend, actually brought him up and said, auntie, he's hurt. So I think the fact that all his friends were around, one of them came with us to the hospital. I feel like I don't need an app, as long
You
as the
don't,
community around you is allowing you to
Absolutely.
do that.
Yeah.
And it is a ritual, right? They all go down together, and one of them falls. I think that's
They all
what,
help,
yeah, that's what the human
That's how we
values-
grew up
yeah.
also, right?
I think apps are great, but tech sometimes is unreliable. These apps don't work, and sometimes
So
network drops.
I do one more thing. Like if my niece is playing downstairs, what I do is whatever guard is on the duty, I will say the guard, okay, please, bhaiya, nazar rakhna. That's it.
Yeah. Let's not forget we live in a country where I think
We have
keeping
enough
an eye is not difficult.
No, but
na?
you're
You see something, anything, and you'll have 5 people watching and telling you. So I don't think we
We should rely on apps so much.
But okay, Twitter question 3. How do you and your husbands share responsibilities in raising your children?
Okay, I'm going to take that. Given that I am at least an hour away from home, I know that he is watching them. He's down with them playing, because one of us take duties in being out with them and escorting them to classes and not leaving them with any help. So I think, I keep saying this, and we've done this post on Kids Stop Press as well, where really when the father is watching the child, it's not called babysitting. It's called parenting.
Yeah.
And I completely abide by that, because if you want women to be in the workforce, you need to have both the parents to be supporting it. And I also think, I just feel like the time with the father is just so different. It's so unstructured that I am like really threatened by my husband actually right now. I feel like I'm losing ground. So I think
Because they're not so stressed, they always enjoy the time. And the mothers are thinking of all kinds of things, and they're always stressed.
absolutely.
when
Like
they're doing-
we're always like on the ball, on the routine, chasing the routine, right? But I think it's interesting with this question that I feel as the husbands are getting more hands-on, the wives are going to get a little, the moms are going to get a little insecure that, dude, are we losing ground? And we'll have a problem with that also.
Because moms don't like to let go. They want to be in control of things.
So I think, as always, there's so many things to discuss that
Absolutely.
one conversation leads to many others. When it comes to getting, 5 moms together, I think that happens.
We can't stop.
I also, would like to say that I don't know if this is allowed, but I would like to say that if we all have our phones, can we just look once if you have it? Otherwise, I'm going to
I
look. If you don't
don't.
mind, I'm going to look just to see if anyone's, if anyone has any burning question. So I'm just going to take one question from Twitter. For me, it's Tara Sharma Saluj, because Saluja was too long for the Twitter handle. So Tara Sharma Saluj, and on Insta, which is Tara Sharma Saluja, and on Facebook and YouTube, the Tara Sharma Show. Okay, so here's a question. Interesting. This is from Neon Kink. Are you watching? Neon Kink. Interesting conversations around Children's Play Day with Tara, Mansi, with all of our names here. Okay, now let's see what the question is. One sec.
Interesting name.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting name. Okay, someone else says, Lucky Lady says, please let your child enjoy the playgrounds and not playstations.
That's right.
Okay, so thank you, Lucky Lady. So there are many more, but I'm just we're just reading out that. Then we also have here on Instagram, we have someone saying, guys, loving this chat. Where can we watch the whole version? So on all our platforms, this is live streaming on, I think, 7 platforms. So you guys can watch the whole chat. So please do that. And sorry, this is the last one I'm checking because it's live. So we owe it to you to tell you what we're seeing. And on Facebook. Okay. Oh God, how embarrassing. It stopped in this weird position. Can somebody change that? I'm like got my face down. Okay. Okay. It says, love this chat, loving it, loving it. Okay, guys, we're all watching. Okay, so good. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for watching. And we're now going to do a little bit of a quick question session. I guess this is a sort of a rapid fire.
Are we going to get a hamper? Then we're going to, should we be prepared?
Yeah, as I've always said, right? It's tea with Tara, coffee with Karan, both on Star World. I don't think I introduced myself, but I'm Tara Sharma Saluja. I have a show, the Tara Sharma Show, which I create, write, co-produce and host. And I say that because I often get called the host of the show. And I always say it because, as a working woman, I think it's very important to establish when you have more to do than just be there. So yeah. So on that note, the first question: one outdoor game you played as a child that you'd like to see return. Your time starts now. Very quickly.
Cool.
Gold Spot. There used to be a game called Gold Spot. I don't remember what we did, but I remember the name.
Cool.
Hide and seek.
Lock and key. Okay. One energy ready drink or food item for your kids before they play.
Almonds.
Milk.
Bananas.
Nimbu pani.
Banana, yeah, banana. And for me as well. One guilty thing you've done to avoid going out with your kid.
Playing music, that's it. But not that guilty.
Reading.
Reading has to be.
Reading or art.
Watching
painting.
one of those shows. I love doing that.
Okay.
Sorry. But what's your child's favorite sport?
Cycling.
Sorry.
You're asking me? Sorry. So my older one plays football and my younger one just loves to run around.
So mine just started saying ball. That's it. She's very small. So she just like to play with ball and
Yeah, mine has got to be chore police on the cycle.
Chore police on the cycle. Okay. Mine, I think, is elder one is probably soccer, younger one is probably also soccer, and running around the racecourse with the dog. That's definitely the hot favorite. What's the most fun thing you've done with your child outdoors?
Sailing.
Sailing.
Nothing right now. I don't have anything excited I did with my kid right now. Because she's
Of
very
course, I'm
small.
sure everything you do with your kid is exciting.
Yeah, playing with her. Sometimes I also swing with her. So that's something.
Yeah, that's fun.
Trekking up to the Himalayas. We did obviously a very mid-level trek, but it was a lot of fun for them.
And for us, I think we all are water babies. So we go on many beach holidays and we're always swimming. We're like hippos. We're always in the water. So we love that totally.
Yeah. I think for me, I think all these things as well, swimming, and I think like yesterday we did this little video which was a selfie video. I just dropped my phone and just started running, and it was so much fun. And I was like, kids allow you to be kids again. Like, let children be children and let us adults also be children again. I think you become a kid again, you want to do all the fun stuff. As you once said on my show, right? You've started learning so many things thanks to your kids.
Absolutely.
So I think that happens. Okay, what's the funniest excuse your kids have used to get out to play?
No, I think he loves to go out, and
No,
he
a
doesn't need an
funny excuse to go out. In case like you needed him to do something at home and he wanted to go out.
That's his friend is fallen or something. Yeah, I don't remember, but I think that's the best.
These
excuse.
quick questions are very tough. Now even that's why I don't do this rapid fire on my show. But Karan does it very well. So.
Tara, I don't think children lie. They're very, very blatant. When they want to do something,
They
they
just
Yeah,
do
I'm
it,
trying
yeah.
to think what excuse would
Yeah.
they give, but I don't think they want to give an excuse. That's the problem.
Because it's a good thing, right?
Yeah,
To go out and run
absolutely.
and play, so you don't need an excuse
Absolutely.
to do it,
Mine
right?
started. She started, finding my shoes. Where are my shoes?
Yeah.
And then it's like, shoe, mama, shoe.
Yeah, but that's what all kids do, right? They'll
She'll
get
say
the
shoe
shoes.
and she'll say good night fabric roll-on. Okay. So now that we're near the end, and we've discussed some really wonderful things, there is a chart which we'd like all of you to write a pledge on for what you'd like to do when it comes to encouraging kids to go out and play, perhaps making it safer, maybe less of a worry, less of a concern. So any kind of pledge about encouraging this outdoor play, I guess you can mention that you can use this.
Yes,
I
of
think I'm
course.
going to
Roll on.
mention it. I'm going to tell him, no, Red, you have something invisible to use.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My son's going to get excited with that.
yeah.
And I guess while the chart paper is coming, I'm going to check one more time.
Do you have that other product? Because I'm very,
Yes,
very
yes,
keen to.
I do.
Keen to see. Are
I
these the
do,
ones
and
lying
in
around?
fact,
Do you wanna-
Nisa is a good friend of mine, and I know she's tried this a lot on Zoran, so I know
you
it
just have
works
to put
well.
4 dots, huh?
Yeah. I think they should have called it invisible dots or something, because I know that boys hate the stickers and the silly bands that they have to wear. So this is going to be.
And as they grow older, they're like, like
Yeah,
it's
we
not
don't
macho
need it.
enough to.
Yeah, it's not macho enough to wear it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I'm going through that one.
Yeah, I have an 11-and-a-half-year-old. So,
Nine.
he
Mine
thinks
is
he's a
9.
teenager. So he's like, please, I'm not going to put anything and go.
I think 8 is the new 13.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Great.
It is the new 13. So while that chart comes, I think everyone has said such wonderful things, so much food for thought. And I think one thing that's pretty much come through is that kids love to play outside. Parents love to encourage them. There are concerns, but I think honestly the fault, if at all, about not going out enough is not the kids, it's actually everyone else. I think it's up to us to encourage them, to make sure that it's safe, to make sure that they're well protected from mosquitoes and pollution and everything else, because it's a very genuine, I mean, there have been times when I know I want to go out and take the kids out running or whatever, but then sometimes there are days when I look out and I don't know if it's a good thing to do with pollution levels, and especially friends in Delhi and family in Delhi, it's been really tough. So it's a very it's quite a sensitive topic, but I think that the fact that Goodnight Fabric Roll-On is combating one of those fears, which is this mosquito, is really, really great. So on that note, thank you all so much for joining us. It's been really great. I've really enjoyed doing this live stuff, and I'm sure we're going to do lots more of it. I definitely am, for the Tara Sharma Show Season 5, which starts in March, April, on Star World and on YouTube. And now let's all write those pledges.
Right, Mansi, why don't you start?
Should we all hug you?
Yeah.
I think that'll be fun. You have another one that you can have.
Oh yeah, this is the thing. So should I just test it out?
Okay, I want to write and
You want to bend down here and write? I think we can move this and write.
when you have it, right?
It's nice. It's got that eucalyptus slightly.
As long as it's not girly and happy,
Yeah, I know.
I can get Param to wear it.
I know my 12-year-old's not going to wear. I can only convince my 7.5-year-old to try
It's a
to.
mixture of oil plus candy.
Yeah, it's got that little bubble gum kind
There you
of.
go.
Okay, so Mansi says, I pledge to play outdoor with my kids always and to be a kid.
Yeah.
Stoppress.com. So while they're doing that, should we sing a song? Just thinking like something about playing outside. Like I said, all of you out there, I hope you guys are running while you're watching this, or you better be going to do something outdoors after all this, right? So what are you going to do next when you are next outdoors?
I think when I'm next outdoors, I've been waiting to really cycle as fast as my son can, but I'm really frightened of falling. So maybe, and he keeps telling me, you know, you should get a bike. So maybe that's something that I'm seriously thinking about.
That's a good idea, yeah. That's
Once
nice.
his glass comes off and his fracture is okay, then probably I'll go.
Yeah, but I think that's so relevant what she says. And I think sometimes the expectation is only one way, right? It's so important, you know. And like I said that, you know, with my kids, I started learning everything with my kids. I learned swimming with them. I'm learning music with them, and I realized that how hard it is, right? So sometimes when you say, okay, go play, okay, but you know, there has to be, you know, like sometimes the building friends don't come down, right? So when it's raining, or right now when there was so much of fear of mosquitoes or whatever, a lot of parents were reluctant to send their kids out, and it is a fact. But sometimes it's important to say, okay, I'm going to be that friend when other friends don't show up. So I think, like all of us said here, it's very important, like, because kids emulate us, to be the right example.
Actually,
and
that's
right,
what I used to do.
right
When my
role
young one
models.
was learning swimming, he didn't want to. He was very reluctant, and I mean, he loves being in the water, but he didn't want to learn the strokes and
Yeah.
all. So I would actually swim in the pool while he was with his sir, and so that he could see me and feel all happy that mom's around. And that was a great way for me to exercise also. So I think you need to combine and get smarter at doing things like that, so that they don't realize that it's a boring
Absolutely, and
class or
kids,
whatever.
As you said, they do what they see. So, you know, because I've been, since school days, I've been running around the race course all the time. I'm quite amazed that my 5-year-old and 7-year-old run around the race course without stopping, pretty much at the same speed.
Oh, wow,
There are
that's
times when
nice.
I have to go a little slower, but I'm quite honestly ruthless when it comes to it. I'm like, don't spoil my running time. If you want to go slow, go back to Gaga, who's my mom, Gavi. But so they keep up.
Yeah, even during the Diwali holidays, we'd actually take their bikes. So I would like run on Wally Seaface, and they would come cycling behind because they can't keep pace. But you just have to, I think, seamlessly integrate your child's life in your life, because that's the only way to be, and that's the only way you can spend time and have life of your own and get them to play outdoors and not get hooked on to, you know, hooked on to things.
Yeah, and I think of just one word also for very, you know, working moms who are not able to work from home and don't have their own businesses, because as I always say on my show also, we're talking to quite a privileged lot, right? We have those options of saying, no, we won't leave them here, we won't leave them there, but there are plenty of people who don't have those options. So I think, honestly, again, each to their own, no one is doing anything right or wrong. You have to do what works for you and your situation. But I do think that, as you mentioned, Mansi, there are also classes and stuff which encourage being out, you know? So
Absolutely.
it's not like, if you're not able to be there, the kids can't.
Yeah, you can always send them for outdoor camps and stuff like that, which I used to do as a kid because my mom was a working mom. So I always did stuff where I was sent to camps because she couldn't really take off as much as I can now. So
I think, okay, let me read these out. Ruchi says, pledge to let go, let them play as often as possible. Play is the greatest form of research. Ruchita, FMC. Shruti says, pledge to be yourself and play, explore life is a great adventure. Super, Shruti. And Avni says, pledge to let my son be a simple child and learn from him. And me, I think I would just pledge to say, each to their own, and honestly let kids be kids and enjoy the child and the child in all of you as well. And as this is Children's Day week, I think this was a really fitting thing to do here. So on that note, thank you all very, very much. Please keep interacting with all of us on our social media platforms. And you've been a great live audience. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Are we done? Ourselves. Oh.